Hello everyone. Thank you for tuning in. My name is Cristina Aparicio and I'm an admissions counselor here at UC Riverside. I wanted to welcome you to Next Steps to Enrollment. Wherever you're tuning in from, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. We'll be going over what you will need to do for your next steps to enroll here at UC Riverside here today. So if you do have questions, I believe you do have an area for you to ask your questions, and let's get started. So in order for you to submit your SIR, and for you to say that you want to come here to UC Riverside, we call that the Statement of Intent to Register. So for freshman students, you want to make sure you submit your SIR by May 1st. And for transfer students, you want to make sure you submit your SIR by June 1st. And you could do this through your MyUCR account. We'll go over some slides as to where exactly you would need to go to submit your SIR, and we hope that you do choose to come here to UC Riverside. The deposit for you to submit your SIR is $100, and you can pay with either a MasterCard or e-check. Now on here you can see this is what your MyUCR account would look like. This is last year's slide, but what you can see is there is an area for you to select your statement of intent to register. It'll have your home login information, and that's where you'll be able to select to go to the next steps for you to submit that SIR. Once you're on select the SIR key, you'll be able to be directed to this area in your web browser where you'll be able to select that you want to submit your SIR here to UC Riverside. And it'll go over basic information like what I went over earlier. You cannot submit your SIR with a Visa credit card. You can only do it with a MasterCard. So make sure that if you are planning to pay with a credit card, that you do it with a MasterCard. You can also use the e-check, as I said before. Another thing that you want to make sure that you do regularly is that you check your MyUCR account for any alerts, notifications. This is also where you'll be able to go in and check your provisions of admissions. So if for some reason you have any provisions of admissions, you want to make sure you read those carefully, and if you do have questions, you can contact our office. But please make sure that you do read those provisions of admissions. You will also be able to check your financial award letter, so you can make sure that you have your financial award letter. And for some students, those are still being for transfer students, we still haven't finalized those, so just keep checking your MyUCR account for that to be on there. For you to accept your financial award letter, you will have to do that through your MyUCR account. So when you go in, you'll be able to select and accept your award letter. So you'll be able to see what grants you received, what loans you received, if you qualified for any grants, loans, work study, and scholarships. Obviously, grants and scholarships are free money, so that's money that you will not have to pay back. There will be, just so you know, there will be an information just like we're doing today, online for financial aid. So if you do have questions about financial aid, make sure that you tune in to the financial presentation later on today. So basically on your MyUCR account, that's where you'll be able to select the grants, the loans, the work study, and the scholarships that you want to accept. Loans, those you can vary. So if for some reason you were awarded, let's just say, for as an example, $5,000 in loans, you can actually say, I don't want $5,000. You can actually say, I want $3,000. So you can adjust that on your award letter if you wanted to do so. So if you have any questions about that, you can direct those to the financial aid office. But like I said, there will be a session on financial aid later on. For students that were admitted, you're admitted provisionally. And what that means is that you still have to make sure that you maintain the same level of achievement your last year, your last semester at the institution that you're in, high school or college, community college. So make sure that all the courses that you put on your application are correct, and that if you have any in progress planned courses, you have to get C's or better in these courses in order to maintain your admissions here at UC Riverside. There will be provisions, as I said before, on your admissions letter, so if there are anything specific to a course, make sure that you do review those on there. If you do receive a D or an F grade, that is grounds for your application being rescinded. So if for some reason you catch yourself being in this situation, make sure that you do email us at this email that you see on your screen, admissions@ucr.edu, so that we can review this information and see where you stand. Like I said before, this is when you're admitted provisionally, so you want to make sure that you still maintain the same level of achievement your last year. Students, when they apply, they obviously don't need to submit any transcripts to us ahead of time. So once you have decided that you want to come here to UC Riverside, that's you will have to submit all your transcripts, all your test scores. All those will have to be official documents in a sealed envelope from the institution. So make sure that as soon as you get your final grades from spring, that those are requested from all the institutions and that you send those directly to our office. The deadline is July 1st, so make sure that you request those with enough time and ahead of time so we can receive those by July 1st. Transcripts for high school students, we may require you to submit your high school transcripts. That's not because we want to look at how you did academically at your high school. We want to know if you completed a course that would fulfill a graduation requirement here at UC Riverside. So if you're a transfer student and you see that we do require the high school transcripts, make sure that you do send those to our office with your college transcripts. For high school students, obviously you're going to have to send those transcripts to us by July 1st. If you did take any test scores such as the AP, Advanced Placement, IB, International Baccalaureate, SAT and ACT scores, TOEFL, and IELTS scores, those will all have to be sent by July 1st as well. So no exceptions, as you see on there. Make sure that you do request those on time. If you have any questions about any transcripts or anything that you're having issues with, make sure that you do contact us, because we need to know ahead of time your situation. But that's why we want you to request these as soon as you get your final grade. So there's no need for you to request them right now without getting all those final grades from the spring term. All students will have to do a statement of legal residence. So you will have to go onto your account to make sure that you do complete this form. It's something that's required of all students. So you do that on your MyUCR account. AB 540 students will have to submit an application and for an affidavit form. So they will have to submit an application and an affidavit form, so in order to do the statement of legal residence. For more information about more specifics, you can go on to registrar.ucr.edu. Now for housing, we have guaranteed housing for freshman students for 2 years. There is a deadline of May 10th. So make sure that you, if you want to be guaranteed housing here, that you do get that contract in by May 10th. Now for transfer students, since some, you still have some time for you to get your statement of intent to register until June 1st. You still have some time to do that, but for guaranteed housing, that's only for freshman students. If you wanted to apply for transfer students, if you wanted to apply for on-campus housing, but for not resident style, more apartment style, we do have housing for students as well, and the contract is in June for transfer students. So make sure that if you're a freshman and you want to be guaranteed housing, you want to make sure you get that in by May 10th. We do have another a deadline, which is in June, for housing, and that's for to make sure that you are able to get into our housing facilities here at UC Riverside. And these are just some of the options for you to have, either the residence halls, student apartments, family housing. For our transfer students or students with families, we do offer family housing, and if you are interested in that, you want to make sure that, as soon as you get your SIR, your statement of intent to register, that you are able to get on the wait list for that, because there are a lot of students that are interested in family housing, but you will need to get that, get into the wait list as soon as possible, and you won't be able to do that until you submit your SIR. There will be some health requirement forms that are required of all students to complete. So make sure that for all newly admitted students that you complete these forms and requirements. All students, have to have insurance here at UC Riverside. So whether you want to be covered by our health insurance, or if you're already covered with your parents, you will have to have some form of health insurance. But if you are already covered by your parents and you do not want to be covered by UCR's health insurance plan, there is a way for you to do a waiver, so you won't have to pay our fees for health insurance if you do decide to stay with your parents' health insurance plan. But if you do not have any health insurance, you're not being covered by anybody else, you will be required to have health insurance here at UC Riverside. So make sure that you know that you will have to pay that, and that'll come out on your fees form. And for more questions about the basic health requirements, you can go on to campushealth.ucr.edu. Now, another very important step for students as they are coming here to UC Riverside, once you've already submitted your SIR, you've already notified us of the financial aid that you've accepted, the next step would be for you to sign up for orientation. Now, for freshman students, it is mandatory. You will have to attend our orientation, which is a really great opportunity for you to meet other students. You're going to be able to register for your classes, so this is where you'll be able to get all those questions answered to, as far as what courses are going to be available, which ones will you be able to register for. So this would be obviously the best opportunity for you to do that. And like I said, for freshmen, it is mandatory, and if you do not attend orientation, again, your application could be rescinded or will be rescinded if you do not attend orientation. So make sure that if you are a freshman, that you sign up. The sessions will take place during the summer, so July and August will be the months that you will be signing up, and they have different days for you to choose and decide which one would be the best for you. You can actually start registering today if you wanted to, so you can go on to orientation.ucr.edu. and it is an overnight stay here at UC Riverside for freshmen. So it's a great opportunity, like I said before, for you to meet other students, to meet your academic advisor, sign up for those classes that you're so eagerly waiting to register for, and take advantage of getting to know the campus ahead of time. For transfer students, it is optional, but I really recommend all students to attend this, because like I said before, just like it is for freshmen, this is the best opportunity for you to get those questions answered, and we have a whole day planned here, so you can actually attend sessions, get to know some of the academic advisors, sign up for the classes that you need to register for. Now, for transfer students, their sessions will be taking place August and early September, but the registration hasn't opened yet. So make sure you do check later, sometime through May. Early May is when you'll be able to register for Highlander orientation for transfer students. But for freshmen, you are able to register. This goes over just some of our contact information. So if you do have questions later on, we do have 3 different emails here available for you. So if you do have questions about admissions, regarding provisions of admissions, or if you had a change in your schedule and you weren't able to report it until now, make sure that you do submit your email to admissions@ucr.edu. We are, at least for our transfer admissions counselors, we're still reviewing applications at this point, so just make sure that you know that we will be getting back to you. We're still working on other students' decisions, but if there are any questions about, like I said, the provisions of admissions, the change in schedule, make sure that you do go to admissions@ucr.edu. Now, if you do have questions about financial aid, your financial aid package, there are, resources that you can go onto the website if you have questions about general questions about financial aid on our website. But if you do have a specific question and for some reason you aren't able to get a hold of somebody, you can send them an email, which is finaid, FINAID @ucr.edu. They do accept calls, so if you do have questions, you can call us. However, they are very busy right now as well, trying to get our financial award letters out. So just be patient if you, for some reason, call the office, their office or our office, and aren't able to get a hold of somebody. Make sure that you do, either leave a message or send them an email with your contact information, your student ID, so that they can direct you and help you appropriately. For housing questions, you can send an email or also call them or go onto the website. I also highly recommend for students to go onto the housing if you're obviously not able to attend here physically today, since we have an event going on. If you have questions and if you want to get to see what kind of facilities we have available, make sure that you do go onto the housing website so you can get the virtual tour of what the facilities look like. You will be able to get an idea of what kind of housing facility may suit you better than others. So make sure that you go on there and get those. If you have any questions, you can go and ask it at housing@ucr.edu. Let me just see if we have any questions. There's a question about when you will be able to get your UCR student ID, and basically, yes, once you submit your SIR and you say yes to UC Riverside, and that's when you'll be able to get your student ID number, which you will need in order for you to do lots of different services here on campuses and get going on to the next steps. So make sure that you do, once you decide that you want to come here, and we hope that you do choose to come here to UC Riverside, that you do submit that SIR, and then you'll be able to get your student ID number. There is another question about if you're able to get your ID at orientation. You will be able to get that at orientation as well. Make sure that you, if you haven't already, submit your SIR so that you can get that early on as well. Do we have any other questions about what are the next steps for you to enroll here at UC Riverside? This is a really great question. We do not, it's not mandatory for students or freshman students to live here on campus. I know that there are colleges that have it mandatory for students to live on campus in order for them to attend. Here at UC Riverside, you are not required to live on campus. However, I would highly recommend it because especially coming in as a first year freshman student, you want to be adjusted, you want to be able to know your surroundings, you want to be able to be more familiar with the campus. So living on campus definitely assists you in having a more closer connection with the campus. And there are studies that show that students that live on campus actually perform better than other students that have to commute. And that's very important, I think, for freshmen, so that they can stay obviously closer to the services here on campus. But if for some reason you will be commuting, just know that it's not mandatory to live on campus and have campus housing facilities. Now there is a question about if you're able to change your major after being admitted. It is very difficult. Once you've already been admitted, there's no way for you to to be able to, depending on the major, if you are, let's just say if you're in College of Humanities, Arts, and Social Sciences, and you wanted to change into the engineering majors, you can request a major change. However, that may or may not be granted. Now, for transfer students, it's very different. The process may be different because there are major prep that's required for certain majors. So if you, let's just say when you applied for admissions, you selected an engineering major or a science major through our College of Natural and Agricultural Sciences, and there's major prep that's required for those majors. And if you did not complete those, then you will, you're not able to change your majors. So if you do have the major prep that you needed for the major as a transfer student, you can apply with the actual department once you're a student here to see if you qualify to be admitted into that specific major. So I always recommend students that when they apply, that they select the major that they're interested in, because once you're here, you've already been admitted and you've already submitted your SIR, and you've already committed to being in that specific major. But once you're here, once you're here as a UCR student, you can inquire with the department to see if they will allow a major change, and that's something that you can do later on in the process. Any other questions that have come up. I do want to, let you know that there are other sessions that will be taking place afterwards. So make sure that you do tune in to some of our other presentations online. So we will have a financial aid session, and we will also have a session on international students. So make sure that you do tune into those if you are interested in getting more information about financial aid. I know that that's a very important topic, and a lot of students really want to know when they will be getting their financial award letter, and what does it actually entail, and questions for those specific areas. You want to make sure you tune in to the financial session, which will be going on later on today, I believe around 2. Any other questions that students have? If not, then I do want to thank you all for tuning in. We really appreciate you taking the time to be here with us today. I know that you have many options out there, and we hope that you do decide to come here to UC Riverside. And we not only look forward to seeing you here, but we also look forward for you graduating and coming back and making those connections later on as an alum of UC Riverside. So if there are any further questions, the email addresses are on there for each of the departments if you have any questions. And look forward to seeing you here soon, and have a great day.